I've got the answer right here, ladies and gentlemen, to everything that ails you. Now step right up.
One who quacks like a duck about his salves and remedies. The cruel practice of making money on people's worries feared throughout the years as quackery.
I said cured of backache, nervousness,
any number of diseases.
All right, folks, we are back with another episode of Quackery here in Season 2. Make sure and smash that subscribe button. Here's your co-host here, John Boy and Dr. Will the Pill. And this episode should probably come with a little bit of a disclaimer. This is not meant to treat, cure, or whatever, any medical condition. This is just a fun podcast. Let's just say a blanket statement for the whole podcast. We're not trying to give you any medical advice, just for fun and information and laughs here. Yeah, we probably ought to be putting that on every episode. This week's episode is going to be on elderberry. You probably have heard of elderberry, and especially now with it being cold, flu, and COVID season, it's a big topic. And before we get started, also, we're going to tell you guys to check out our sponsor, Jupiter CBD, and go to jupitercbd.com, getjupiter.com, and type in the promo code QUACK, 20% off your first order. This stuff is USDA organic. It's well tested. John and I both use it. We like it. And let's get started on the episode here, shall we?
Yeah. And this is a great beer, by the way.
You know, we've kind of been slacking off during COVID this year with our theme beers. I was really gung-ho with it in Season 1, Season 2.
It's really good.
We've just been drinking kind of whatever it's around. This is a Can of Bliss Citrus IPA. I usually am not a big IPA fan.
Mountain India. What is Mountain IPA? Made in the mountains, I guess?
Maybe in the mountains,
This is from Asheville? No, Nevada. Or North Carolina.
Oh, cool. It's one of the brands is Ball, like the mason jars. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really good.
Citrusky business. Anyway, we have it in some nice icy glasses here, and it's good. No Steeds, no Sims, no pulp. It says Austin, Texas. Brevard. Oh, they have 3 locations.
Yeah, 3 locations.
Longmont, Colorado, Brevard, North Carolina, and Austin, Texas.
Crazy they spread them out like that. You usually see a brewery around the same area.
Pretty big local. Yeah, I mean, even Coors, Anheuser, Busch, and all those places, they're all typically in one place, and they ship from there, right?
Yeah.
You know what Mr. Coors' first name is? Just a little fun trivia here for you.
Randy?
Adolf.
No way.
It is. Adolf Coors.
Is Coors a German name? No.
I don't know what Coors is. I mean, I don't...
Adolf.
I think it probably was a pretty popular name back before World War II.
Yeah. Can you imagine someone naming their kid Adolf now? That name is ruined forever.
We got a neighbor... his name is Alexa. Every time she comes over, you got to turn off all the damn electronics in the house, otherwise it goes crazy.
Oh my God.
So we're talking about elderberries. So are you familiar with elderberry, John?
Blackberries? I don't know.
No, elderberry.
Oh,
it's a different kind of berry. They look kind of like blackberries, but obviously they grow. So they grow on trees. Blackberries will grow.
They sound very wise,
Very wise. Yes.
Like a wise man would be eating these.
So, and the more I looked at these, all right, so you played in the woods probably a lot as a kid, right?
What the freak?
I did. I mean, like you go out in the woods and make trails and forts and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in South Carolina, in rural South Carolina, there was always like these little bushes and like little small trees that were growing up. And they had like those black.
Yeah.
I think
those are elderberries.
I think those are elderberries.
Okay. I always thought those are blackberries.
No, so they're elderberries. I'm pretty sure they look just like this, right?
Because if they got
like this,
the red stems.
My parents would always be like, "Don't eat them; they'll make you sick." And so it's actually true, but we'll get into all the details with that. But so elderberries they come from a tree variety known as Sambucus, and that's probably where you've heard also that product on the shelves called Sambucol. It comes from Sambucus, which almost sounds like what's that stuff? Kombucha.
Oh, kombucha. Nicole was making her own kombucha for a while. It was good, but it takes freaking like 2 weeks to brew that thing.
You know, it's technically alcoholic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with elderberries, though, there's a lot of myths, legends, and claimed uses for the tree and the fruit and the flowers, actually. And it's gotten a ton of attention lately for its alleged use in treating flu, cold, and COVID, obviously. Just a little side note here. We are recording this episode we are now living in the post-COVID vaccine approval era. I don't know when you're going to be listening to this episode, but at least the Pfizer vaccine has been approved. It's obviously going to go to old folks and healthcare workers first, but hopefully by the time this episode comes out, the zombie apocalypse has not started quite yet, so you can check it out. Are you going to trust that vaccine, John?
No, I'm not getting it. But how much is it going to cost?
That's a good question. I thought that with Operation Warp Speed, which is the vaccine program, which Pfizer took great lengths to say they are not a part of, they want to sell it on their own, even though, Mike Pence was trying to take the credit for the Pfizer vaccine. They're like, no, we took no money for this one.
Isn't Pfizer the...
Viagra?
Viagra.
Yeah. A lot of they're one of the biggest in the world, one of the biggest drug companies in the world. I, of course, had a bunch of shares of it that I sold last year, so damn. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to go up now. Anyway, let's get back to talking about the elderberries. So the elder tree, this you can Google. There's a lot of different varieties of Sambucus. I think there's 50. So it's basically something you can find almost everywhere in the world in a different variety.
It's crazy how that tree on the picture is in a crater.
It's cooler looking, right?
Yeah.
They're usually, this is probably the biggest one I could find. So the biggest it grows 20 feet tall. They don't typically get that huge. And if you think about the ones you'd see in the woods and stuff, it was typically maybe 6 foot tall, real green, not really barky sort of thing that held those berries. We always smash them and rub them on stuff and it stained everything. Mm. I'm pretty sure those were elderberries. Pretty sure. It looked exactly like the picture.
I remember
you can find them in the wild.
The red stem. Yeah, they're all over.
You can find them in the wild for sure. So yeah, there's a bunch of different kinds. You could probably go out and find them growing wild all over the place. And so there's a lot of folklore. We'll get into that behind it. So there's a lot of, obviously they talk about witches a lot. And it's confusing because in some cultures, the elder tree, which grows elderberries, which sounds awesome, an elder tree, right? Some of them, they planted these elder trees to keep witches away.
Ah.
But some was the opposite. They would say elder trees brought the witches in and they would do seances and dance around them and shit like that. Especially when the more fruit they had, the more the witches would come.
Nice.
And then other cultures, they said basically the tree was anytime a witch would die, their spirit would go into the tree. And so you could not cut down an old elder tree, an elder tree without getting revenge. You would get, the witch would, I guess, I don't know, haunt you or get her revenge on you or whatever, unless you said a specific chant while you chopped it down. But there's more stuff too. I saw another thing where it had to do with if you would pick the dead twigs off of it, you couldn't get any live ones, then you could burn those and it was supposed to keep witches away or make witches go away and all these different things, man. It's a very old, obviously it's been around for a long time and it has a lot of uses. So there's going to be a lot of folklore about it too. John's favorite movie and book series here, Harry Potter.
I read 2 of the books.
I'm proud of you. So you would not know about the Elder Wand because she only came into that, I think, with the last couple of books. But anyway, if you guys are big, Potter heads, I think that's what they're called.
Yeah, I think so, Potter heads.
Then you would remember that the Elder Wand, which is one of the 3, what are the things? The wand, the stone, and the invisibility cloak are the 3. Not Horcruxes, but the thing. I can't even remember now. Anyway, they're part of they get together and do something special. Anyway, the Elder Wand was supposedly made out of elder tree, and that was famously used by Albus Dumbledore, and then after that, Voldemort. And then if you look at the new series, the Fantastic Beast, of course, Grindelwald uses it before Dumbledore gets it from him. The elderberries from the tree they've actually been, once they get ripe, people have been eating them for centuries, but the seeds and the sticks and some parts of the fruit in themselves are actually toxic. So if you don't do everything right, you could get really sick from it, like severe nausea and vomiting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And diarrhea like crazy. So you actually have to cook them for at least 45 minutes to deactivate the toxins. But it's like a lot of people don't do it quite right. Like they won't get the right things out. So, usually making stuff like this at home is a good idea. But this one, is kind of be careful. If you follow, by the letter, maybe even overcook it, I would think, just so you're not worried about having to shit your pants. But let's talk about cold and flu. More specifically, there was a trial in 2004, two very small trials, where it's called the randomized study of the efficacy and safety of oral elderberry extract in the treatment of influenza A and B virus infections. So it burst onto the market after these small studies produced a positive result in flu. So 60 patients were involved, and they saw a 4-day shortening of flu and flu-like symptoms compared to placebo, that's huge. I mean, considering flu only lasts, 7 to 10 days, 4-day reduction, potentially 50% or more. But it's a small sample size, 60 people. So on the study, they said there needs to be more research done. So what is the idea behind, okay, why might they work? So raw elderberries, in about 100 grams worth would be providing 43% of the daily recommended value of vitamin C, 18% of B6, and 12% of iron. So, there's some evidence that vitamin C can help with your immune system and cold and flu support. Although it's actually kind of debatable how much it helps and what it does, because you see all these products, Emergen-C and all that, even with the zinc, which I'm a big believer in the zinc, although the evidence for vitamin C and zinc is a bit spotty at best, quite honestly. There needs to be a lot more research done. But if there's just an idea that it works and they can sell stuff, kind of like the master mineral solution we talked about. If you got something people are going to buy, why would you be responsible and go study it? Let's sell the shit out of it, right? But anyway, so it's got a lot of vitamin C, so that would, kind of lend itself to an idea that it may work for these kind of things that are immune system related. So it went crazy. I don't know if you've been in a pharmacy or anywhere lately, you see these Sambucus products, all these different products. This one right here, Sambucus, named the #1 pharmacist recommended brand. Like, I have never recommended this stuff ever. Now, if people ask me questions about it, if they want to buy it, I might have said, well, this one's buy one, get one free this week. So if you're going to take it, then this one is cheaper right now. Or like, oh, is this is the gummy or the syrup work better?
Is this
same? I don't know.
Is this made by a big company?
No,
or just kind of independent?
I think that they just came on their own.
This is over the counter, right? Oh no,
yeah, over the counter. Healthcare Brands International, which was a new company. So they built their whole thing on elderberry stuff. I sound so country when I say elderberry. I leaving off the aura. It's elderberry syrup. For all elderberry. For all your berry needs. We got syrups, we got lozenges, gummies, you name it. So come on into the pharmacy and get your elderberry. Yeah, so by 2018, it blew up to a $100 million market.
Pretty much just this company too, right?
Just this company.
Oh my God.
Now there's a few others, like I don't know if you've seen Zarbee's. They made a lot of like natural-based stuff for infants and kids, which actually I think Zarbee's is pretty cool because you don't have kids. I have 2 kids, and when they're under 2 years old, there ain't hardly shit you can give them. Like you can, because they're so small, like there's not a lot of medicines you can give them. Like you can do maybe a little Tylenol, saline nasal spray, Vicks Vapor Rub, and then hope that they, just start feeling better. It's hard for it to give them much. But the Zarbee's, they made a bunch of products that are natural stuff that are safe. They're basically like almost sort of like nutraceuticals.
Yeah.
Which some of it is only going to be like mildly effective, but at least it's something. And which I like it because you're going to have parents new parents like I was, you're going to come in and be like, oh, you gotta be able to give me something for my kid. They're miserable.
Yeah.
And be like, well, this is only maybe mildly effective, but at least it's something.
Yeah.
And at least then the parent can feel like they're doing something to make the kid better, and even a little bit better for a kid. I mean, their immune systems are good anyway. Especially if they're breastfeeding and all those kind of things, they can really get better quickly. But it's just kind of a pain in the butt. Like if a kid is nose is running like crazy, and there's nothing really you can give them other than you can suck the saline out with a little bulb and hope for the best, right? So, anyways, Arby's they make elderberry products now too. ElderBerry. So, not so fast, my friend. So, obviously, you heard them say there should be more studies on elderberry. Well, they did.
Already made $100 million.
Well, I don't think Sambucus did the studies, but they took off with
60 people made the 60 people study $100 million.
$100 million. Isn't that crazy?
Now they're rich. Who cares?
They don't care. They didn't do this. So this was another group of people. Actually, so they had a study just a few months ago in September 2020. They had a new study that showed no link between shortened flu or improvement in symptoms. And actually, in this study, it showed that it took longer to recover from the flu than a placebo did. So what I think, let me tell you everything about the study, and I'll tell you what I think is going on. So this was 87 participants. So still not huge, still small. So total, 60, 87. I mean, you're not even looking at 200 people who took part in these studies. But they did it in the same way. It was a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled. So double-blind, nobody knows who's getting what, right? So you can trust the results of a double-blind test because there's no bias. So some got elderberry, some got placebo, and some actually got Tamiflu. So what they did was if someone had the flu and they wanted to get Tamiflu, which is an antiviral medication for flu, then they wouldn't deny it to them. They would just take them out of the study. So it didn't include those people in the 87. So there was more.
Gotcha.
So basically, but I mean, they collected the data because they wanted to know how it would perform versus
elderberry. And these are just people coming into the hospital.
I don't know what their inclusion criteria. Oh no, it is in the name. Sorry, elderberry extract outpatient influenza treatment for emergency room patients age 5 and above. So they came into the emergency room. So that means they had bad enough, flu to come to the emergency room.
But you don't know, it's hard to say how long they've had it.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are things too that would, obviously affect your.
It's not like they came in healthy and then, all right, I'm going to give you the flu right now. And then everyone's got the flu at the same time. And then.
True. And it wouldn't be okay, during cold, flu season, you're going to take elderberry every day. And is it going to ward off the flu? There's not enough evidence to say yes. But the results were that those who took just the elderberry versus those who took just the placebo, it took them 2 days longer to recover than placebo.
I mean, does the placebo help?
Well, it does. Well, placebo is nothing.
I know, but could you think you're getting medicine and it helps you recover?
Placebo works at least 30% of the time.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That's right. It's crazy. They said even it can work up to 50% of the time. And
your mind is powerful, man.
It's very powerful. Isn't that crazy?
We should sell it. Neurolife.
Neurolife. It's like a seatbelt for your dreams. Sold by Alex Carrera. Endorsed by Tom Brady.
Yeah. Neuroberries.
Neuroberries. Ooh, we mix elderberries
I like that.
with some other kind of goji berries.
Yeah,
and then we put it together as neuroberries. They're going to keep your immune system up and your brain working good.
Yeah.
Oh, man, we're going to have to start selling some neuroberries. We can put them in drinks.
It's like an airbag for your brain, not just a seat belt.
It lifts your thinking and protects your brain. You don't even need to wear a seatbelt in your car
It's
anymore.
like a Serta mattress for your brain.
Ooh. Sleep number. You can just dial that baby in and how much you want to take. My neuroberry setting is a 5.
Holy shit.
So, like I said, the study was not large, and they say in the study, in the conclusion, further study is needed. But it's almost conflicting information to the 2004 study that was performed in exactly the same manner. So what does that mean? So what I think it means is that you just are not getting enough data. So if you put those two studies together, it basically shows no difference versus placebo, right?
Who conducted this study, and why would they think elderberry may help with the flu?
It's been taken as a natural remedy for years. So people for a long time have said that, hey, this stuff has been good for immune support. Right, so why don't we take a look at it? Yeah.
So they basically just
ran. I
should
have said that off the start. I was more excited about the folklore.
No, that's the witches in the tree. That's amazing. That's kind of crazy.
That's cool stuff. Yeah, they would say like they would plant them near your house. You know, a lot of people had them by their house. And so it probably also came up like, well, you know, these weird old, as they call them, like my mom calls them granny witch, who always had like all these like natural remedies and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe they would plant an elderberry tree in their yard because they wanted to use the berries I'll show you, there's other uses for it too. But maybe they use them as like immune support on their own and like their own little medicine and stuff. So if it was grown by their house and this woman's weird and lives alone, you know, has a wart.
Yeah, a wart. She's got to have the wart.
Then she's a witch.
And a
burn her. I'm not a witch.
We're watching Family Guy.
A witch weighs the same as a duck and it can float. There's a witch.
We were watching, so Nicole's never seen Family Guy, so we started from episode 1.
Oh, nice.
And there was like one of those takeaways where they're sitting in, I don't know, Salem. And they're in a classroom and the teacher asks a question and this girl's answers the math question and the teacher's like, oh my God, a girl answered the math question.
A witch!
She's a witch!
I love it. Dang, that dude is brilliant.
Yeah.
That show, I haven't watched it in so long, but it is so good.
She used to hate it, man. And then finally I'm like, just let's start at the beginning. And now she's obsessed.
I guarantee you, like that Heather's same way.
Because she never got it before.
Yeah.
You know?
If she would be like, I hate that show. You know, kind of like, I hate Cracker Barrel.
She said that.
No, she's just, I don't like breakfast places. I could eat breakfast all day long, any day. So what does it mean? It like I said, I think that it means it doesn't make, you know, a big difference, but we need more studies to show what exactly it can do. And since, you know, these companies are already making all this money, they're not going to want to spend a bunch of money or who is going to? I mean, where's the benefit? You know, quid bono, who benefits? Something like that.
Yeah, quid pro
quo. That means, you know, little back and forth. I scratch your back, you scratch mine.
Yeah,
but no, quid bono, I think means who benefits. So if you do a study on elderberry to see if it works or not, like that's going to be very expensive to do a big enough one. And it's not like you could patent this because it grows everywhere.
Yeah.
So the people who are making money on it, they're already making money. They're not really interested in knowing concrete evidence.
Oh yeah, that's the
they're
last.
They're not going to fund a study. No,
unless it's in their favor. Yeah.
But then that's a big risk. Versus $100 million you're already making, right?
Yeah.
So, but I do think I don't think it's going to be, you know, other than cost and money, I don't think it's dangerous unless, you know, as long as you buy the commercially prepared one or if you know how to properly prepare it, because like I said, it can the raw and unripened elderberries can make you very sick. The stems and things like that is actually something called sambucus that can cause that's the toxin that causes all those problems. So they said if you get enough of that toxin, you will end up in the hospital. It's serious stuff. So of course we're gonna have to bring up COVID-19.
Oh, what?
And I want to apologize to you guys for we did some earlier this year. We did some COVID-19 updates, and I was like, don't worry too much about this coronavirus. I don't think America's going to get hit hard with it. Yeah, I was wrong. Whoopsie daisy. I do think we could have done better. But anyway, I don't want to be political or anything like that because this podcast is about having fun. But anyway, obviously, once COVID came over, and we have discussed on several episodes COVID treatments like the Master Minerals solution, a lot of people have been trying to make money off of COVID.
Yeah.
Well, this obviously the elderberry is no different. There's a bunch of products, and actually they get shut down. I mean, the USDA and the FDA go nuts on these people. They shut them down hard and fast now because there's no evidence whatsoever for it. So anyone that says treats COVID or prevents COVID or anything like that, then I mean, because they're trying to crack down on misinformation. So it's not been studied, so you cannot claim on anything that it does anything for COVID-19. Now, it is a virus that will be similar to a cold or flu. So, you know, you could say that if you think it works for cold and flu, then you would think it could benefit for COVID. But as we saw from the evidence, it's conflicting as to the benefits on even that. So I was looking through the FDA's website to try to find some pictures of ones that have elderberry. I found one here, COVID-19 core formula. It's very, very scammy looking to me. This one has Chinese skull cap.
It's got a leaf on it.
That is true. It does have a leaf. Chronic Lyme treatments too. So that is another thing.
It's Chinese skull cap.
I don't know. I think it's a mushroom, maybe.
Oh, I thought it was like a legit skull cap of somebody.
Like a guy sweated on it for a while.
No, like
skull cap.
a samurai just.
Like you scalping like Indians. Ooh,
literally
Japanese
grounded up.
knotweed. Kudzu. Oh, it's got kudzu in it.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what we need to do. We need to figure out how to make kudzu taste good.
Exactly.
And then
we just eat it all up before it
time.
eats up America, or at least the South.
I mean, what does it grow a foot a day?
Isn't it all like linked together too? No, that's not right. Somebody told me it's all connected in some way.
Well, I don't know about that. I do know where it wasn't so invasive when it brought over from China. They brought it over for erosion control because it grows quickly.
Oh,
but they
really?
didn't realize that in our climate and in our soil, it would go like it does, like grow a foot a day. So it just goes absolutely crazy here. They didn't know. So it's so invasive. And then if they would have just planted it in a couple places, like, oh, look how good this is doing for erosion control. Here's some. So if they only planted it in a couple places, and then an animal, because I think some animals eat it. I think like certain wild pigs and stuff can eat it. If they get some seeds and poop it over here, then it's over here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe it's connected. I don't know. This stuff grows so crazy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be weird if it's like the long interconnected network of kudzu?
Yeah.
It's like all the trees on the.
It's like slowly taking. It's actually an alien
like an
life form.
Earworm or something. Yeah. Ooh, now that would be a good book.
Yeah.
It's kind of like on Nauvoo on the Avatar. The whole planet's roots are connected, and it's like a big brain.
Oh,
you didn't see that?
No, I didn't see that.
They're like all the little connections and all the roots.
Nice.
And they can like tap into it when they go to like these certain locations.
Oh, cool.
You didn't watch Avatar?
No.
It's like one of the best movies ever. James Cameron, man, come on.
I haven't seen
Get
it.
on board.
I know it is the Blue people. Mm-hmm. The Blue Man Group.
Blue Man Group. They did the music. Yeah, of course. Anyway, so when I found the slideshow of all the products, the FDA, it's almost like that old Nostrums and Quackery that they used to put out, the USDA. Did I just have a stroke? They used to put out to warn people about, all the quackery back in the day. They have to fire it back up again now with COVID, and it's this huge page of all the products that they've shut down.
Crazy.
And of course, what's on there? Master Mineral Solution.
Oh,
the bleach, baby. MMS.
MMS. I thought you were going to say TB12.
Oh, no. TB12 is still going strong, man. That stuff's legitimately expensive. And here's a fun thing, though. So the flowers and actually the berries, too. You can actually use the berries. If you do prepare them correctly, you can make elderberry wine. So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe these old granny witches were making some booze with the elderberry. And everybody's like, stay away. She's a witch. She's crazy. She's got purple all over her lips. But then the flowers, they actually make a bunch of a booze out of those. So there's something called Saint Germain.
Yeah, we drink that.
You like Saint Germain? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's elderflower liqueur.
Yeah, we drink that.
What do you mix with that?
I think we just take it straight. I don't know. I hear that name a lot on our other podcast. When we drink.
So I bet you have it.
But I hear them talking about it all the time.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, it sounds delicious. I want to try it.
Yeah, maybe they mix
next
that.
time I come down. I still haven't been on an episode of Talk Murder. Isn't that crazy? How many times we've tried to get together for it? No, I haven't been on one. I'm gonna have to come do it.
Yeah.
There's called Hollands Flader, a Swedish akvavit, which is flavored with elderflowers. It's like a strong liqueur from Sweden. I had to look up what an akvavit is. You can also make the flowers into booze, like wine, sorry. And the twigs, actually, they can use the twigs of an elder tree to spice up like syrups, like some maple syrups or elder tree. And then, I don't know if you've tried this tonic water. Fever Tree makes elderflower tonic water. It's delicious. Like if you like a gin and tonic, like Nipotades maybe. I was almost going to pour you a Nipotades. I didn't know how it would be with Red Bull, though.
I usually put Jaeger in my Red Bull, but
yeah,
I've never
vodka
really had
and Red Bull is good.
Is it?
Yeah, because you can't taste the vodka.
That's true.
I don't know when the last time I had some Jägermeister.
I love Jaeger, man.
The dark coffee tasting.
Yeah.
What is it made with? What's the?
Oh, I don't know.
What's the ingredient? It's like licorice, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Almost like wormwood. Have you ever had absinthe?
No, have you?
Yeah, we had it. It's legal now since 2000.
But it's not the psychoactive kind, right?
No, well, the only reason it was psychoactive is because people like Van Gogh, they were cutting it with gasoline and rat poison and all kinds of stuff.
Really?
Yeah, that's why it was psychoactive.
Oh, look at that. The more you know.
Yeah, no, I did a whole
Wasn't the
story
wormwood?
on it. Yeah, but the wormwood it can be psychoactive, but they made it more so.
They made it more
It's
so.
like moonshine. Like, the stronger it is, the more people like it, even though, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Kind of thing.
because people are crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
So here's a nice picture of a duck breast with elderberry sauce. So you can use it to cook with.
That's where Nicole has made that same thing.
Really?
Yes, she's actually made that sauce. She makes that we've eaten that. It wasn't duck, but it was
You have to get the
chicken or turkey or something.
you can buy the dried elderberry.
Yeah, she makes that quite often.
Elderberries. And then as long as you cook it long enough,
Yeah,
then
she
you're
makes
fine.
that quite often.
It still has the seeds in it at that point, but no stems. Nice. Is it good?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, it
anything
sounds
she
amazing.
makes is great.
Yeah, she's a good cook. Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, I thought that was fitting. Elderberry,
Yeah.
duck, quackery.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Any questions about elderberry?
No, man, I like that one. I like the history with the witches too. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
no, and it's actually one I've been meaning to do for a while because it's very big.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's in the pharmacy. There was a few years ago, what was it, the big flu year, maybe 2018? Like, you could not find it because people were convinced that it was the cure. Like, I think somebody said if you take it with that oxocilium stuff, like that would cure the flu. And so you could never find it. Like, it was always sold out. Like, the shelves were just bare during that flu season. And it was all bull crap. I'm going to do an episode on that stuff because the history of that oxocilium stuff is hilarious.
Nice.
So stay tuned for that one. Maybe we'll even do it next week. But that will wrap up elderberries. So like we talked about, conflicting evidence on the trials for flu. So more evidence, more studies need to be done. Right now, in my opinion, there's no way you can say that it helps or hurts for flu. But it does have some vitamin C in there, so you can take it for that reason. You can use maybe some delicious meals and boozes with it. And if you find it in the woods, don't eat it raw. Make sure you cook it. And if this episode really quacked y'all up and you want to support the crew, head on over to quackerypodcast.com/join and become an official quackhead. If you have an idea for a topic you want us to cover it, let us know. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. That makes a huge difference. Tell your friends. And as always, keep calm, quack on.